So I went up to him, sat down on the floor next to him where he was working on this TV. And the first thing I said was, "Gavin says hello." Where that came from. First thing out, the one thing I did not want to say, right, wouldn't have the letter or anything. Well, he looked at me, and he looked all the way down. And then he said, "Are you from Gavin?" Piercing look. "No," I said. "No, I'm not." So we talked some, then everybody went back to the farm, and I had been put in this trailer, a place to put my sleeping bag, right? It was like a little 3-room trailer. First it was kind of an artist studio, then there was like a bunk beds, and then there was a back room. So I decided I wanted to leave right then, right? Then I decided, well, I'll sleep here and then I'll leave first thing in the morning. So because I just didn't know what to do with this. And so I went into the trailer. There was a guy working in the little artist room. So I told him good night, and I went and got into my bed. And pretty soon I heard the door. I just assumed it was the guy leaving, right? But then right after that, this person just walked by my bed, back into this back room, and just said, "It's warmer back here." Okay, so I went in there. There was a little stove in there, a nice little bed, some books. It was an unbelievable night, physically and mentally. And we never went to sleep. The conversation was like you hope for. Stimulating, understanding. He left at sunup, I guess. Then I went in for breakfast. It was as though nothing had happened, because I thought now I would have status, right? It's embarrassing. So nothing was said. Nothing looked any different than it had the day before, in spite of the fact that I was part of the harem, you know. Every once in a while, I would mention the harpsichord. Well, have you thought about the harpsichord? And I always got a back burner response. So that had been kind of, I realized that was not going to happen. And so I might as well go, right? Because I didn't have status or my whole self there. If I couldn't blow their minds, right? It wasn't happening. After a while, I just decided I would go. So I got my stuff together. I saw him across a field, and I called over to him and said that I was leaving. And he came over and he said, "Oh, don't go. You don't want to go. It's this Gas Girl's birthday, Gas Girl. And we're going to have a party. And, you got to come. It's going to be great." So during the afternoon, I got all involved making her a present. I got really involved with it. In fact, it was like maybe 3 hours where I was doing something for somebody else, and I forgot myself. The dinner bell had rung some time ago. I heard it across the field. So I cleaned up my stuff and left the trailer to walk over to the kitchen. And it was beautiful. The field, newly mown field, the moon, everything was so beautiful. And it was all over. I didn't have to play the harpsichord at all. And nothing mattered. I was free of the whole garbage, right? So I went into the kitchen for dinner. Before the door was even closed, they were saying, "Oh, could you play the harpsichord for the party?" Well, so it was a wonderful party. They did, in fact, have a tank of nitrous oxide. That's why she's called Gas Girl. And they had other things. And they had harpsichord music, probably like they've never had before. And it was a wonderful experience for me. I was very physically and mentally charged up extremely after that. And I was driving down Interstate 5 wondering why I had never made any visual arts, why I had never painted, drawn, done anything. It seemed curious. Everybody up there was so productive, and all I did was my music. And then I realized that the reason I had never drawn or done any painting or any art was because I was afraid it wouldn't be right. I had to pull off the side of the road. It was so pathetic. Knowing that, discovering that, I was just crying I couldn't drive. And I'm crying for myself, the loss, crying for most people who must feel the same way, that they don't do it because they think it won't be right. It will bother someone, people will disapprove, it'll be judged, all of this. And when I got home, I went upstairs, I'm not sure I even went to the bathroom. I pulled out some magazines, I started to make a collage. And I did not care whether anybody liked it or not. I liked it. And that was all that mattered. And that I went on from there. Visual arts became a big thing for me.